Life's a binge. Bow, 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 wow. Right?
Like a chump, I hit the mic. And it's
like
way up there.
Like a, what do you call it?
A chump?
I was thinking like a
Rookie?
newbie.
Like a rook?
Noob, like a...
Stupid
like a
rookie. Like a dumb,
rookie move.
dumb rookie.
You plebe... No, plebe doesn't work.
Yeah.
Plebeian. I like that word, though.
Plebeian. That's a good word.
Plebeian.
Well done. I hope it's framed well. I don't care. I don't care if it's framed well, because whatever.
Put it right at our crotches.
Right?
Like, oh,
No,
dang
I just
it.
think my head might be cut off, but I doubt it. I mean, it's closer and it's angled. It's
Do you want me to
weird.
look real fast?
No, I don't care.
I'd do it.
I trust it.
All right.
I'm hitting the microphone like crazy. Oh, it's just wiggling.
It's all good.
I'm not hitting it. So
So this is part of my show,
this.
by the way.
Oh, you do it in the Christmas show?
Yeah, I do it every show.
Nice.
Just to like, here we go.
Yeah.
I think of you every time.
That's awesome. So this midweek is strictly based upon a post that you posted about a week ago. Mm-hmm. And you posted it, and you said it's on Netflix, and so I was like, well, he loves this movie. Might as well watch it. So I literally watched it yesterday because we're going to talk about it today. It's an Albert Brooks movie, Lost in America.
So happy you watched this movie.
Yeah.
You might have hated it, but I love this movie. But
It's
anyway.
on Netflix. This movie came out in 1985. It stars Albert Brooks and Julie Haggerty. You probably know her best from Airplane. She's like the stewardess in Airplane. Mm-hmm. If you know her from that, she's always the same kind of mousy kind of character.
Yeah,
so,
she has that signature high voice.
right. So in this movie, I was thoroughly pleased with her performance because she gets to like branch out a little bit when she's in Vegas and she like goes crazy.
Yeah. yeah.
Anywho, so that's the movie we're talking about. You love this movie.
Love it.
Did you? So this, like I said, it came out in 1985. So I just saw it for the first time yesterday. Have you seen this movie countless times, or?
I've seen it, probably 15 or more times at least. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I saw it just 2 weeks ago when I posted that.
Right.
Actually, I watched like 3/4 of it, then I had to go, and then I came and then I watched the last bit of it. But,
Nice.
But still loved it.
It's very enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable movie. Now, the only it's not even a criticism.
Give it.
But like the mid to late 80s were very famous for like putting like guys in these like impossible situations. Like I just think of like the vacation movies and where the lead guy is like thrown into this like hell like shitstorm of like a situation and it's like good luck and like that's where the comedy kind of comes from.
Right.
So it's very like cliche.
So trains, planes, and automobiles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's very like cliche of that time era to be like, you're in it now. And then you just watch them like break down and that's funny. But it is funny. And Albert Brooks did a very, very good job in this film while like teetering on the edge of like going insane, but he never did. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He like never.
Yes.
Because I think in Christmas Vacation, when Chevy Chase has this like huge outburst and just like rants at the end, and he's just like, oh, hallelujah, holy shit. Where's the Tylenol? Like that outburst is so great.
Yeah.
But like, and so you're expecting Albert Brooks to get there this whole time during this whole movie, and he never does. But he like teeters on the edge of it, and he gets that signature like Albert Brooks like rasp in his voice when he gets up, when he like,
come on, I'm semi-serious here.
when he like gets up there.
Yeah.
And so it was very enjoyable. It wasn't what I thought was going to happen.
Well, I tell you, it's very interesting to watch it again now as someone in their late 40s which is older than the character that he's playing in the movie. Because I saw it as a 17-year-old when it came out with my friend Phil Thorne, and we used to that was our thing, was watching movies and particularly watching Siskel and Ebert, and then like watching some of the movies that they recommended and then seeing if we agreed with them.
Right.
And this was way before any thoughts of like, we could do a podcast about it.
Right.
But at that time, it was our little film club, and we thought we were little avant-garde.
Sure. That's awesome.
Kids. But anyway, I remember really enjoying it and really enjoying Albert Brooks. And now as I watch it as an adult with friends my age who who are dealing with these issues, because the storyline is this,
Right.
is that Albert Brooks and Julie Haggerty are living this fairly comfortable life.
Right.
He's in advertising.
Makes real good money.
Very good money. He's living a very nice life, but he's in the corporate world that's
trying-
probably
trying to
dragging
climb
on.
the ladder.
Yep,
and-
he's playing the game, trying to climb the ladder. And he expects this promotion,
Yeah.
like is assured that
like
he
he's
feels
a
like
shoe-in for the senior vice presidency.
so he's shopping for a Mercedes is like at the
Right.
beginning of the movie, like in preparation for this new role he's going to take on. And then of course he doesn't get the
doesn't
promotion.
get it. Doesn't
They give
get
it to
it
someone else. He kind of loses his mind.
Right.
That he had made all these sacrifices for the company and for the job, and that he wasn't feeling he was being adequately rewarded for it, and that they were giving it to somebody else.
It's not fair.
Phil, you're gonna give it to Phil. Come on,
It was good.
Yeah.
It's a good. It's
So anyway, so he ends up quitting, and then he has this brainstorm that instead of looking for a new job and
buying the new house,
and buying a new
the
house,
car. Yeah. They
that-
can get rid of it all and
and
put it all in a
the
big
money,
nest egg.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then and buy an RV and just live off this money and just go and travel around and find the world. And they keep referring to Easy Rider.
Yeah.
Which, have you ever seen Easy Rider?
A long time ago.
I don't know if I saw it once a long time ago as well, that I really would like to see it again.
Right.
Because I think there's probably, like this movie and other movies, an adult perspective that you
Right.
might have when you're
Where they
watching
just-
it again.
According to this movie, it's just they're out on the road riding. And
Right.
like, I mean, he says they sell cocaine or whatever. That's probably has to do with it too. But like, that's the whole point of the whole thing is like, what do they call it? They dropped out.
Right, they're dropping out of
They
society.
drop out of society, and their whole plan is just drive around and cruise the country.
So they're of an age where when they were young, in their early 20s, which are really formative years
Yeah.
for an young adult, where you're really coming into your own. That was in the 60s, and where there was a lot of people doing this, like dropping out of society and just, maybe joining a commune, maybe traveling, doing all this type of stuff.
Right.
And since he went the corporate route and he played it safe, he felt like he missed out on all that. So he's going to do it now. So he and his wife agree. They sell everything. They get an RV. They take off. They're going to go discover the world.
Remarried or
The first stop is to
Yeah.
remarry themselves. They're going to get remarried in Vegas. When he gets there, in the middle of the night, she
gambles everything, loses all of it. And that's like one of the funniest things when he's like, where is she? And he goes downstairs and she's sitting there at the roulette table. 22, 22, 22. Here we go. It just looks like she's literally been sitting there for like hours just betting on 22. And like, he's like, what's 22? Why? Why are you betting on 22? And like, you never find out like why.
Yeah, they don't ever say. But,
betting. But
it hits
like
once and he's like,
22.
sweet,
Yeah.
we're good.
How much was that worth? $35.
Yeah. So she loses almost all of it. All but, a few $1,000.
Yeah.
And so they have to change their plans drastically.
Yeah.
And
Woof.
and he finally reaches, he was talking about the breaking point, that's always funny. So Albert Brooks has that breaking point in the movie, and they're on the Hoover Dam.
Oh, yeah.
And she says, well, why don't you just try to do this? And he loses it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. He's like, okay, now listen, you cannot say nest egg. You
Right,
cannot
you're
say
not
nest. You cannot say eggs. You can say that bird lives in a round stick, and I'll have things over easy with toast. But you cannot say nest egg. And so they split up. What's one of my favorite parts? They split up. And he's trying to find her. She'd gone down the road,
like hitchhiking,
and she's hitchhiking. Yeah. She gets picked up, and you know the guy who picks her up.
I don't know who that is.
That's Ogre from.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actor, I can't think of the name, but you're familiar with.
And that's
Revenge of the Nerds.
That's one of the things. That's where I thought the movie was gonna go. I thought it was gonna take a twist, and just to finish summarizing it, they meet back up and they like settle down in this little town, and then they try to find jobs, and he gets a crossing guard job, and she gets like a assistant manager at Wiener Schnitzel, and then they, after their first day of both working, they're like, "Do you want to go?" And I'll like, go back to my old job. And they're like, "Yeah, let's do that." So like they go back, and then they, it all is right.
He said, he goes back to.
But what first of all, watching this movie for the first time now in this day and age, at my age at 33, I don't think I would forgive my partner. Like,
that's a tough call.
I love Samantha dearly. But I mean, they've been married for a long time, they had said.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if we had a plan to like, we sold everything and like literally, and overnight she literally flushed it down the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'd be like, well,
which he's not really like. I mean, that's part of the story. Is like
right.
but he forgives her.
Right.
Like,
and, I probably would too. Like,
after you chastised her.
Right. But like, that's a rough one. I was like,
I want you to go outside and I want you to write on the cement and sign with chalk. I lost the nest egg. I lost the nest egg. Come on, say it with me. I lost the nest egg. I lost the nest egg.
But like, that's a rough one. I don't know. It's difficult to say.
It's hard to say. Too,
I would like to think that I'd be like, I get it. Like, I get it. Because the way she explains it, like, she had no idea. She never had any of that.
Yeah, she had no idea.
Adventure or anything.
Or no idea that,
or anything.
That gambling, that reaction to gambling is like
let's do this.
Is a
she's
thing.
she says, like, at one point he told me I was up $100,000, which basically like doubled their money.
Right.
And then she literally just kept going and lost it.
Yeah, it's that. Hey,
he's like, if I would have known you had a gambling problem, I wouldn't have married you. And she's like, this is the second time I've ever gambled.
Yeah. Well, it's that's one of if there's an anonymous group connected to an activity, there's potential problems.
Oh yeah.
So if there's Gamblers Anonymous, there are people who are going to get that high from winning, and that's the worst thing you can happen to you if you're because then you're chasing that.
Keep going.
You're chasing that high. That's like heroin or anything else.
Yeah.
So I've heard. I mean, I'm not
right. Right. But so she loses it all. So I don't know if that would have been the end for me or not. And then the other thing was, maybe it's different now, because like I said, this movie came out in 1985, but his wife hitchhikes to get away from him, and then he follows after her and finds her at this diner with the guy that picked her up, and he's like, punches him in the face, and he's like, yeah, da-da-da, I would beat you up or whatever, but you said you're calling the cops and I'm wanted, whatever. Yeah. I thought the movie was going to be like, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, hey, we have this criminal, da-da-da, he's wanted, here's a fat reward, all is right, continue. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen. Right. They don't, follow up with that at all. Like,
now, does he say I'm wanted, or is he I'm on parole?
No, he says he's wanted. Or he has
wanted.
Yeah, he's wanted.
I have a warrant, yeah.
Yeah. Like, full on, on the run.
Yeah.
And then he gets punched in the... I was like, A, you could sue his butt for assault because he punched you in the face, and B, there's probably a bounty on him of some kind.
What's funny?
So, call that in! Get your money back! Like, that's what I thought was going to happen, but he just goes off his merry way.
The guy says, all right, come on, pal. We're going outside. We got some fighting to do. And he's like... And it's like that feeling where you're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not a fighter. I don't fight.
What? We got fighting to do now.
I'm just here to talk to my wife.
He goes, come up, pal. It's like, pow! Like, oh.
Yeah.
Hits him in the nose.
It's seriously the movie where, everything that could happen to the guy happens to the guy.
Right.
Right.
But it's
funny.
It's funny. And one of the highlights for me is... the little interaction with Skip, the assistant manager.
Oh yeah, when he's sitting in the...
we figured out that the fryer wasn't turned on. She figured that out. It's like, that's why I married her. That's why I hired her.
The kid's 17.
Yeah,
he's some kid. He's the manager. Yeah. Well, it's so funny because he's doing everything he can to find a job when they're out of money, and he's trying to talk to the guy, and he's like. Goes to the employment office in this podunk little town. And he's like, well, what were you making before? And he's like, well, I was $100,000, plus bonuses and stuff. And the guy just can't comprehend it.
Right.
He's thinks he's totally bogus. He's like, we don't have anything for you. He's like, well, do you have any? I'll take anything. I need any money. He's like, you could be a crossing guard. And he's like, you don't have anything more high paying or executive level or anything. And he's like, that would be in the $100,000 file. Yeah. We don't have one of those.
Maybe those jobs are in the $100,000 box.
Yeah.
That's not a real thing.
Yeah, and he comes home after that and he's asks his wife, do you have any leads on anything? She's like, oh yeah, an assistant manager job. And so you're thinking ooh.
Right.
She got the good job and he's going to be stuck being a crossing guard or whatever. And so then you see him the next scene, he's getting annoyed by these punk little kids who are being a jerk to him being a crossing guard. Then he comes home after that day and she's wearing a Wiener Schnitzel uniform.
Yeah.
And so it's It's stupid, but it's great. Like, it is really funny.
It's a thoroughly enjoyable movie,
and Albert Brooks he totally carries the film on his shoulders 100%. Like from the freak out scene when he doesn't get the job, and then
which is a great scene.
He gets on this edge of like totally losing it, but he does it just enough to where it's not like ridiculous, like it's believable.
There's a great scene.
We'll be going 15 minutes.
Okay, that was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have like also, a minute left,
major big part of the movie is him trying to talk the casino owner, played by Gary Marshall, into giving him his money back. That's something to look for when you watch this movie. But it's on Netflix for I don't know how long, but you should definitely check it out.
Definitely check it
out and expand your Albert Brooks.
It was a good watch. I'm glad that he posted about it on Facebook, and I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "You should watch it." And I was like, "All right." So then I did.
Right on.
And you should too.
You should too.
It's very enjoyable. Albert Brooks carries it. Julie Haggerty, you'll get to see her outside of the norm where she's really mousy. She actually like stands up for herself a bunch and like has like a good. It's good. Yeah, it's really good.
Lost in America.
Check it out on Netflix. But anywho, that was this week's midweek. This has been Life's a Binge. I'm Jared.
I'm BJ.
And we'll see you on the couch.